Where did the frog croak? For how long did he croak every day? Answer. The frog croaked almost every day in Bengal bog at the foot of the sumac tree. The frog croaked from dawn to dusk. 2. Why did the other creatures loathe the frog's voice? Answer. The other creatures loathed the frog's voice because his voice was coarse and harsh, unlike the nightingale's voice, which was melodious. He croaked all night, and that disturbed the other inhabitants of the bog. They used stones, prayers, sticks, insults, complaints and bricks to make the frog stop croaking, but they were not successful. 3. Who came and perched on the sumac tree one day? Answer. On a certain night, the nightingale perched upon the sumac tree and started singing. 4. How did the other creatures react upon hearing the nightingale's voice? Answer. The creatures of the bog were delighted to hear her melodious voice. The frog gaped at her, the ducks and herons waded to her. A solitary loon was so moved by her song that she wept on hearing her melodious voice. Toads, teals and tiddlers were so mesmerized by her beautiful voice that they pleaded her to continue her song and to sing again. They also applauded her performance. 5. How did the frog offer to help the nightingale? Answer. The frog decided to teach the nightingale. He advised her that without his help she will remain a mere beginner, but with his guidance she would turn into a winner. 6. How did the frog make sure that he was the only one to blare, unrivaled through the bog? Answer. The frog made the nightingale practice even on rainy days when she complained of a bad throat. He forced her to practice, so that she might receive more applause. He also reminded her that she owed him 60 shillings for his lessons. One day, the frog advised her to sing with more passion and strength. When she tried to do this, she burst a vein and died. Thus, the frog was able to reclaim his original dominance in the bog once more. B. Answer the questions with reference to the context. 1. Dumbstruck sat the gaping frog, and the whole admiring bog stared towards the sumac, rapt, and, when she had ended, clapped. A. Who is she, in these lines? B. Why was the frog dumbstruck? C. Why did the other animals clap when she ended? Answer. A. She refers to the nightingale. B. The frog was dumbstruck because the nightingale sang very beautifully and the frog could not imagine that anyone could sing better than him. C. The other creatures of the bog applauded her and clapped for her performance because she sang beautifully. 2. Now the frog puffed up with rage. Brainless bird, you're on the stage, use your wits, and follow fashion. A. Why did the frog puff up with rage? B. What did the frog tell the nightingale to do? C. What happened after that? Answer. A. The frog puffed up with rage because the nightingale could no longer sing as she used to. The frog did not get the money from the audience that her songs brought in initially. B. The frog urged the nightingale to use her wits, to follow the fashion and to puff up her lungs to sing more passionately. This would help her to get the audience's applause and appreciation and earn more money for him. C. The nightingale tried to puff up her lungs. She was terrified and blinded by tears. One day, the frog advised her to sing with more passion and strength. When she tried to do this, she burst a vein and died. C. Think and answer. 1. Why do you think the nightingale agreed to be trained by the frog? Suggested answers: accept any logical answer. The nightingale accepted the frog's offer readily because she believed that he was a great singer. He was a veteran of the bog, as he himself had told her. She believed that under his tutelage she would improve greatly. 2. What, according to you, is the central idea of the poem? In what way? A. The exploitation of someone's talent for personal gain. B. Jealousy which does not let real talent flourish. C. A lack of confidence that leads to disaster. D. All of the above. The central idea of the poem is D. All of the above. The frog in the poem exploits the nightingale in order to gain money. Thus he exploited her for his own personal motives and benefits. The frog, being jealous of the nightingale, tried to hamper her art. In this way it stopped real talent from flourishing. The nightingale lacked confidence and was too dependent upon the opinions of the frog. This led to disaster and caused the death of the nightingale. 3. Is this a humorous poem? What makes you say so? The poem is not entirely humorous, but certain sections of the poem are humorous. In the beginning of the poem, the frog suffers and is insulted by the inhabitants of the bog. This is humorous. The cataloguing of the birds as titled guests is funny. They are called Owl of Sandwich, Duck of Kent, Mallard and Milady Trent, Martin Cardinal Mephisto, and the Coot of Monte Cristo. The frog represents people who are vain and jealous. This also adds to the humor of the poem. It is the poet's language that makes the poem humorous. Appreciating the poem. The poet has used a specific literary device consistently in the poem. Can you identify the literary device? Is it a simile, a metaphor, or personification? Give examples from the poem to support your answer. There are many literary devices used in the poem like metaphor, personification, simile and onomatopoeia. However, it is personification that has been used almost consistently throughout the poem. The frog and the nightingale are almost like real-life characters. They are also given certain human attributes in the poem. The frog represents shrewd and cunning people who try to exploit others for their own benefit. The nightingale, on the other hand, seems very naive and innocent. She is gullible and is fooled by the frog, but ultimately suffers and loses her life.